Today, our topic is how to master the art of self-control. Self-control is one of the most important skills you can develop in life. It is the ability to manage your emotions, thoughts, and actions in a way that helps you achieve your goals and live a better life. Without self-control, it is easy to fall into bad habits, make poor decisions, and feel lost. But with self-control, you can take charge of your life, stay focused, and overcome challenges. So, how do you master this skill? Let's break it down step by step. First, understand what self-control really means. It is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It is about being aware of your choices and making decisions that align with your long-term goals, even when it is hard. For example, if your goal is to be healthy, self-control means choosing to eat nutritious food and exercise regularly, even when you feel lazy or tempted to eat junk food. It is about doing what is right, not what is easy. One of the keys to self-control is knowing your weaknesses. Everyone has areas where they struggle. Maybe you find it hard to resist checking your phone all the time, or you procrastinate when you should be working. The first step to improving self-control is to identify these weak spots. Think about the situations where you lose control. What triggers you? Is it stress, boredom, or peer pressure? Once you know your triggers, you can start to work on them. Another important part of self-control is setting clear goals. Without goals, it is hard to know what you are working toward. Your goals should be specific and meaningful to you. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be healthier," say, "I will exercise for 30 minutes 3 times a week and eat more vegetables." This gives you a clear target to aim for. When you have a goal, it is easier to stay motivated and resist distractions. But having goals is not enough. You also need to create a plan to achieve them. This is where self-control comes into play. A plan helps you stay on track, even when you face obstacles. For example, if you want to save money, your plan might include setting a budget, cutting unnecessary expenses, and finding ways to earn extra income. A good plan makes it easier to stick to your goals because it gives you a roadmap to follow. One of the biggest challenges to self-control is dealing with temptation. We live in a world full of distractions and instant gratification. It is easy to give in to short-term pleasures, like scrolling through social media, eating unhealthy snacks, or skipping workouts. But these small choices can add up and keep you from reaching your goals. To resist temptation, you need to strengthen your willpower. Willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small, by practicing self-control in little ways. For example, if you want to stop eating junk food, start by cutting out 1 unhealthy snack a day. Over time, these small victories will build your confidence and make it easier to tackle bigger challenges. Another way to resist temptation is to change your environment. If you are constantly surrounded by things that tempt you, it will be harder to stay in control. For example, if you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in your house. If you want to focus on work, turn off your phone or use apps that block distractions. By removing temptations, you make it easier to stay on track. It is also important to manage your emotions. Strong emotions like anger, sadness, or stress can make it harder to think clearly and make good decisions. When you feel overwhelmed, take a step back and give yourself time to calm down. Deep breathing, meditation, or going for a walk can help you regain control. Remember, you don't have to act on every emotion you feel. Sometimes the best thing you can do is pause and think before you react. Another key to self-control is learning to delay gratification. This means choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. For example, instead of spending money on something you want right now, save it for something more important in the future. Delaying gratification takes practice, but it is a powerful way to build self-control. One way to practice this is by setting small challenges for yourself. For example, if you want to buy something, wait a week before making the purchase. This gives you time to think about whether you really need it. Self-control also requires self-discipline. Discipline is about doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It is about showing up every day, even when it is hard. Discipline is not about being harsh or punishing yourself. It is about staying committed to your goals and being consistent. One way to build discipline is to create a routine. When you have a routine, you don't have to rely on willpower as much because your actions become habits. For example, if you want to exercise regularly, set a specific time each day for your workout. Over time, it will become a natural part of your day. Another important aspect of self-control is learning to say no. Saying no is not always easy, especially when you want to please others or avoid conflict. But sometimes, you need to say no to protect your time, energy, and priorities. For example, if a friend asks you to go out when you need to study, it is okay to say no. Saying no doesn't mean you are being selfish. It means you are taking care of yourself and your goals. It is also important to be patient with yourself. Building self-control takes time and effort. You will not change overnight, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep trying, even when you make mistakes. Every small step you take towards self-control is progress. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small they seem. And when you slip up, don't beat yourself up. Learn from your mistakes and move forward. Finally, remember that self-control is not about being perfect. It is about making better choices, one step at a time. You will face challenges and setbacks, but that is part of the process. The important thing is to keep going and stay focused on your goals. With practice, you will get better at managing your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And as you build self-control, you will find that you have more power over your life and your future. In conclusion, mastering the art of self-control is not easy, but it is worth it. It is a skill that can help you achieve your goals, overcome challenges, and live a more fulfilling life. Start by understanding your weaknesses, setting clear goals, and creating a plan. Practice resisting temptation, managing your emotions, and delaying gratification. Build discipline, learn to say no, and be patient with yourself. Remember, self-control is a journey, not a destination. Keep working on it every day, and you will see the results over time. You have the power to take control of your life. Use it wisely.